Hi guys, I'm Anissa and I'm back with another video. Today it's Monday Reads and today you're gonna get 2 videos from me. Wow! I finally uploaded my weekly vlog from 2 weeks ago today. It's been pretty hectic and I for some reason haven't found time to actually edit all of the vlogging. And so that also means that this week you'll get 3 vlogs because you'll get the vlog from 2 weeks ago, you'll get the vlog from last week, and you'll get the vlog that I did from the fantasy festival, which I went to this weekend. But it also means that from Monday until Friday, I'm not going to do any vlogging. So for me to be able to catch up again, I decided this week is no vlogging. I'll be starting again on Saturday with my weekly vlogging, and hopefully that'll be okay. This week is going to be really enjoyable for me because I have the whole week off, with the exception of couple of meetings I have to go to on Monday and Friday. I have every day off from work because on Thursday it's my birthday, and so I just wanted to relax and have time to clean out some things and just get some things organized and get ready for my birthday. I'm not gonna celebrate at my house on Thursday, but I am going to do that on Friday. So I want to get ready for that, and I have a couple of things I need to do in order for it to be nephew proof. He is like a year and a half now and walking and in everything, so I have to make sure that that's not something he can grab and put into his mouth or something, because he still does that. And I have a lot of stuff, knickknacks around, and also in the sort of height that he is. So I need to try and figure out something. The fantasy festival this weekend was a really big success, and I ended up buying way too many books. I think I counted them up to be about 27 books over this weekend. I'll do a separate fantasy festival book haul sometime soon, and I'll probably film it over this week. And then I'm not gonna buy any more books, except with the exception of 2. Hopefully with the remainder of this year. I don't feel like I need to, because I have stocked up for the series that I need to move on in, with the exception of 1 book. I've also pre-ordered a book that's going to come out in the beginning of October, and I have with that ordered another book as well. So yeah, plan is that I'm gonna receive a couple more books this week from the books that I bought at the fantasy festival. That's going to be sent to me, so I'm not gonna film it until they are arriving, but I expect they'll be sending it out today, so it's probably gonna be here tomorrow or Wednesday. So yeah, looking forward to that. But let's get on to the actual Monday Reads part of this, because this has just been information. So last week I set myself the goal of reading 1,349 pages with an average of 193 pages per day, and hopefully finishing 4 books and get 100 pages into a 5th one. But what I ended up reading was 1,066 pages with an average of 152 pages per day, and I ended up finishing 3 books and starting on 2 books, or make progress on 2 books. Let's talk about the 3 things that I did finish, and then I'll be talking about the things that I'm working on and planning on working on this next week. The first thing that I finished last week was Forbidden Falls by Robyn Carr. This is book 8 in the Virgin River series, and this series follows multiple characters, but in this one we are introduced to the pastor in this town, and he gets an assistant who's newly moved into town, and he becomes in lust with her. I'm gonna say it like that because it was a little over the top for me. And although there were things that I enjoyed about this one, there were still other things that really, really bothered me, especially in the beginning. But it did get better as the book progressed. But at this point, I'm not super loving this series, but I'm reading them because they're part of my Stacking the Series challenge. So yeah, I gave this one 3 out of 5, maybe a 2.5 out of 5. I'm not really sure. It's somewhere in that area, but I think I marked it as 3 stars on Goodreads. So let's go for that. The next thing that I finished was Murder in Little Italy by Victoria Thompson. This is also book 8 in the Gaslight Mystery series, and this one was great. This was a murder mystery about some woman dying right after childbirth. At first it looks like maybe she just died from the complications after a childbirth, but it actually pretty soon is evident that there is a murder involved. So yeah, who could do that right after they have become a mother? And yeah, then that starts the investigation, and it was definitely interesting. I enjoy these. I think they're always really fun. I have always tried to figure out who did it and hardly ever find out before the reveal. So I always think it's funny when I can read a mystery and not be spoiled, because I spoiled it for myself. And I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The last and final thing that I finished this past week was Roses and Violet, or Rosa og Violer. This is by Kappel Jensen. This is a Danish fantasy book, and this book follows 4 different women or girls. They're about 17 years old, so the young adult age. They all 4 go to this school called Rosenholm, which is a boarding school for people with a great talent. That's what it says on the outside, but you don't really know what it actually entails until the girls get to this boarding school. But it turns out that it is a school for witches and wizards and people who have magical abilities, or I don't know if you want to call them that, but definitely people with magical abilities. And there are 4 different kinds of magics, and they are sort of related to the different elements. So like one of them has blood magic, one of them has spirit magic, I feel like one has wind magic or something like that. And so the 4 girls we're following each has a different magic, one of the different magics. And they one of our main characters, Victoria, finds out that she is able to see spirits, and she has a hard time sleeping because every time she falls asleep, a spirit enters her dreams and makes sure that she doesn't really sleep. So she is constantly tired in this book. And the girls, the other girls, are trying to help her in solving what is going on. So they, even though it's against the rule, they do a seance trying to talk to the spirit to figure out what it is that it wants. And so that turns it into a bit of a mystery and sort of takes this on a bit of a darker journey. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the atmosphere was really done well. I think it was such a fun story, and I was definitely absorbed from the beginning. The only thing that I have against this one is that it does have some of the regular typical YA tropes that I am a little bit tired of, like the forbidden romance between a student and a teacher, and just some of the problems that these girls are. I realize that you have a lot of these things going on when you're a teenager, but there's some of it that just seems like I didn't even have those problems when I was a teenager. I didn't even have these issues, and that's sometimes something that irritates me a little bit. But otherwise, I thought it was well written. I thought it was a great debut novel, and I'm really intrigued to read on in this series and look at how beautiful it is. And the actual cover is just as beautiful, and I will show that because I bought it at the Fantasy Festival, so you'll see it in my haul. But definitely recommend this one. But sadly, it hasn't been translated. It's very new, and only maybe, I don't know, 5% of the Danish literature gets translated or something like that. I don't know what the actual percentages are. So I don't know what the chances are of this being translated ever, but if you are Swedish or Norwegian or of any other Scandinavian country, there's a bigger chance that it's going to be translated, maybe even German. Sometimes they there are some bigger chances it will be translated to those languages rather than English. If you're a Danish reader and you have heard about this one but not sure if you want to pick it up, I definitely highly recommend it. So those are the 3 things that I finished over the last week. Now let's get into the things that I have read from. The first thing that I've made a lot of progress in, and I hope to finish it today, is Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. This morning I was 150 pages left from the end. So over halfway, I think about 60% or something like that. I have been reading a little bit from it today, but it expires tonight, so I have to finish it today in order to me finishing it for the September, because I wasn't able to renew it because someone also wants to read it, and that is super annoying, but that's just life. So hopefully I will finish that today, and I'm really enjoying it. The thing is about this one, I love the writing. People have been telling me that it is flowery and purpley, and I don't know if I will call it that, because if people say that to me, I'm instantly nervous about picking it up, because I will associate it with Laini Taylor's writing, and Laini Taylor's writing I do not get on with at all. And this is nothing like that. In my opinion, this one, the writing, Anne-Marie McLemore's writing seems a lot more similar to Catherine Arden's writing, who writes the Winter Night trilogy, The Bear and the Nightingale. So for me, if people say that it's atmospheric or a little bit like this, then I'd much rather pick it up. So I'm just gonna say that I feel like when I read this, and I feel like it's the same sort of atmosphere brought into it as that I get from the Winter Night trilogy, or the first book. And that's the only one I've read so far. So I really enjoy the writing. And sort of I like the characters, but I'm not sure how much I love the story as a whole. So that's why I'm a little reluctant in saying that this is definitely going to be a 5-star. But it's definitely a well-told story, a well-written story, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be a 5 stars. But I am definitely intrigued to read all of her books now because of the writing itself. So that is great. Then I have started on Full Metal Alchemist Volume 12 this past week and made it about halfway through. I'm on page 77 out of 149. So I'm closing in on the halfway point. I'm probably 40% into it. I'm enjoying it. And hopefully I'll finish it one of the next coming days. The last and final thing that I've also picked up again is Christine by Stephen King. This time I've picked it up on audio. I tried starting about an hour into the audio, and it was a little bit before the point that I got to, but I decided I would just reread that part and then on to the next. So I'm about 30% into it now, I think 27% to be exact. And I'm enjoying it. I still think it's a pretty decent story so far. It follows these 2 boys who are teenagers, and one of them is sort of an outcast. He doesn't really have very many friends except this one person that we're seeing the book story from. And one day he becomes besotted with this really, really old, almost destroyed car, and just wants to buy it no matter the cost, and give it new life, if you will. But it turns out so far that there's something off with the car. There's something with Christine, the car that he's calling the car Christine, that is not the typical car. So there might be something about it that makes our main character's friend act a lot differently and really rashly towards other people. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to go. It's definitely already been a little bit scary in places in its own way without being super scary, but there's definitely something about it. So that is what I've been reading from the past week. Now let's get into my plans for the next coming week. As I said, I want to finish Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. If I want to finish it in September, I need to finish it today. So I definitely am planning on trying to work on that. I also would love to finish Full Metal Alchemist Volume 12. As I said, it won't take me too long when I sit down to read it. Depends a lot on the time of the day I pick it up. If I pick it up right before I go to bed, or when I go to bed, I'll only be reading for 10 minutes or something and get like 20-25 pages into it because I'm tired and I fall asleep as I'm reading it. But if I pick it up in the morning, it won't take me more than 45 minutes to finish it, I think. I would also obviously like to get moving on with Christine. Hopefully I will also be able to finish it. But my priority to finish this week of the audios is actually Alana, the First Adventure by Tamara Pierce, because as you might already know, I'm doing hosting a read-along of the whole Turtle universe. And I'm so happy with all of the response I've gotten for this, that it seems like so many are going to be joining me, and I've already gotten responses from people who started it and told me what they thought of it about so far, and asking if I'm doing a live show or what I'm doing with it and when I'm doing a live show. The plan is I am going to be doing a live show, even though I've never done that before, but that's hopefully going to happen. My plan is for it to go live at the first weekend in October, so you'll have also the beginning of October to read it if you like a little bit stressed out about getting to the book, so you have a little extra time. So my plan is to host it, I think it's around the 5th or the 6th October in the evening in my time zone, to be sure that the majority of my friends who are reading this will be able to join the live show. I don't know when the time is best to include all time zones in the world, but I definitely know that a weekend seemed to be the better choice for all people's sake, so that they could be part of it, because like if I did it in a work day, there's the chances of people being at work if they are in the US when I do it in the evenings. So in this way, I feel like I'm including as many as possible for the live show as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think about that solution. Another one I'm planning on finishing this week is Vision in Silver by Anne Bishop. Since I'm having a lot of time off this week, I hope that I will be able to get a lot of reading done. So I'm going to try and see if I can also finish this. When I finish Wild Beauty, I'll pick this one up tomorrow and work on it and see how that goes. I am hoping to really end up loving this one, because the reason I didn't get very far is because I was struggling a little bit with it. It's very slow moving. It was slow moving in the first two books as well, but there was something about this one that just didn't grab me as much as the first one, even though they were slow. So hopefully it will pick up soon and get moving, and I will end up really enjoying it. I would also, since I didn't pick this up last week at all, I would like to finish the whole thing of Trumps of Doom this week. This is only 178 pages, isn't it? 184 pages. So yeah, that's why I want to get to this and see if I can read for an hour every day and see how that will do. The final thing that I'd like to get started on and make some progress on is Silence Fallen by Patricia Briggs. This one I would also like to get to about 150 pages, then that way I'll be about halfway through it. By the week, when the week is over, I can concentrate on the remaining, the last week of the month, and hopefully finish it then. Maybe if I am really good, I'll finish this over this next week, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to finish it. So those are the books that I really want to finish this next week. Or work on this week, and in order to do that I will have to read 1,420 pages with an average of 203 pages per day, so quite a lot, but hopefully it won't be a problem and we'll see how it all goes. Yeah, so this is my plans for this next week. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been reading over the past couple of weeks. If you are reading anything funny right now, if you have anything new you want to recommend to me, I'm always interested in hearing about what you're reading. Yeah, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.